Last 5 seconds. Ready? Start. Mr. Vice Chairman, we are not opposed to giving extensive power to the Oil and Natural Gas Commission. By and large, it has done good work and it is very essential for the development of the oil resources. Therefore, we do not grudge power being given to it. But what sometimes depresses us is that whereas it should be developing and extending its activities, and the authorities of the ministry concerned come to an understanding with private oil concerns, especially British and American owned, and give them the entire field which should exclusively belong to it. We are opposed to any kind of private sector being in the oil industry at all. We are undoubtedly most strongly opposed to any extension being given to private sector and to new fields being opened for the foreign oil concerns, as has been done in the case of Assam. Therefore, I say that when we are extending it to Kashmir and so on, I would ask the government to change its policy of concessions to the private elements and see that the entire thing develops now absolutely in the public sector in all its stages: exploration, production, refinement, and even distribution. I say Burma Shell and other control many things in our country that should be put an end to. Even in the field of exploration, they have recently been given certain concessions to which we are totally opposed. That is why when we give powers to the commission and monies to the commission, we consider it our duty to call upon them to discharge their responsibility in this respect. I may tell this house that systematically there has been pressure put on the Ministry of Oil, that particular ministry, to yield to the private sector. As you know, some of the papers supporting the private sector that are foreign owned are writing against whatever good steps the government is taking in this matter. Now I find that there is a tendency also to yield to the pressure of these elements. I do not say that they are surrendering to them or anything like that, but there is always a tendency to accommodate them somehow or other in matters relating to the functions of the Oil and Natural Gas Commission. This is something which has to be exposed, because the industrial policy resolution lays down that it should be brought into the public sector. The second point in this connection is that they must develop their activities to a greater extent. Now the America and French oil experts have told us that we have got so much resources. I think the Soviet oil experts also told us that the American and French or the British estimate was a gross underestimate of the oil resources in the country. Now others have pointed out that we have got much greater and bigger oil resources. Therefore, the task of the commission becomes all the more important to develop and tap these resources. The sooner they do so, the better. We can save a lot of money to foreign exchange, and in the third plan we shall be in a precarious situation if we do not develop our oil resources. This is a very important from the point of view of industrial development, and I think even from the point of view national security. If foreign concerns control oil, they can create trouble. I will give one example. The pumping stations are now in the hands of foreigners. Suppose you have an army movement today, the foreigners will at once know that because of the fact that the pumping stations are in their hands and the pumping stations will be utilized for fueling and so on, they will at once know that some kind of big movement, army movement is taking place. Today we may not be in that condition, but you see how they come in. Therefore, in every country the entire thinking is taken over. Oil is something where foreigners are not allowed to encroach upon at all. It must be entirely in the hands of the state in the national interest. It is a most protected and safeguarded national industry. We wish good luck to the Oil and Natural Gas Commission, but at the same time we impress upon them and the ministry, which is doing good work in this matter, to go ahead at a faster speed and cover the entire field so that the entire oil industry in all its stages comes into the public sector and oil becomes a national industry in the true sense of the term. Sir, I do not like to interfere in the debate, but I am one who thinks that there is oil in his own state. But the difficulty which I myself experience is that we have no experts not only in Rajasthan but also in the whole of India. As such, the exploration or the prospecting part has to be entrusted to experts, whether they are from Russia or from China or from France or Germany. Stop.